Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. I found this story on timcast.com. Excuse my voice, I'm still dealing with my allergies. It's what's coming, folks. It's what the Democrats and critical race theory and all of they've been saying for years is they want segregation. They are really the old Jim Crow Democrats of the South years ago with a whole new twist. It's alarming, it's sad, but it's what's coming. Let's read on by Cassandra Fairbanks, who I like a lot. She's cool. Former at-large D.C. council candidate Edison Sarter is expected to propose a new ballot initiative called the Black Autonomy Act. I got to say, though, these progressives really come up with great names. I got to give it to them. Sarter's proposed legislation would create autonomous African-American zones within D.C., complete with their own mayor and legislatures. Sarter dropped out of the race for D.C. City Council prior to the election. The areas that Sarter is reportedly eyeing is Anacostia, Langdon, Brentwood, Shepherd Park, according to local D.C. reporter Martin Oster. I wish these people have easier names. And here's his Twitter, former at-large city council candidate. I used to be on city council, not in D.C., of course, but in upstate New York many years ago in the early 2000s when I was a Democrat, now Republican. And this is what's coming, folks. You Biden voters out there, this is what you voted for. Sarter wrote his proposal in April, saying that if it was passed, it would preserve predominantly African-American sections in D.C. as historically African-American autonomous regions. These African-American autonomous regions would be turned into their own cities with their own mayor and their own city council members operating separately and free from control by the present D.C. government, the activist wrote. He said, to deny African Americans autonomous regions in D.C. would be denying us our basic human rights. Now, okay, how is this any different than Jim Crow? How is this any different than this section of town is white only or the store is white only? Now he's doing whole sections. Have there been African American sections in major cities that have done really, really well? Economically, sure. Look at Harlem in the older days, it was booming. And of course, they always bring up Oklahoma when the Black Wall Street was burned down by the racists. But there were hundreds of other places. In fact, the funny part is, if I remember right, I forgot the woman's name. The first woman to become a millionaire in the United States was black. That was back in the 1920s, I believe, when racism was pretty much predominant. Oh, God. Let's read on. While the idea has been panned online as blatant segregation and terrifying glimpses into the goals and direction of Black Lives Matter movement, Sarter claims this idea is not segregation. Oh, okay. Walks like a duck and talks like a duck. It's a puppy. African autonomy is not segregation. African autonomy is simply the act of African American people controlling the institutions in our communities. This initiative would not prevent African Americans from being able to live or travel to the rest of D.C. west of Anacostia River, he wrote. This bill would not prevent white people and non-African Americans from being able to travel east of the river. They can't live there, but they can travel there. Oh, okay. This sounds familiar. Is this Montgomery, Alabama? 1952? An example would be how Native American reservations that non-Native Americans are allowed to visit. Oh, we can visit there. So here's the deal. We don't want to live by you. We don't want to have anything to do with you. But if you want to come into these areas and give us some of your money, it's okay. Esther Miller pointed out that this measure is unlikely to make it to the ballots due to limitations under the Home Rule Act, which provides for an elected mayor and city council of the District of Columbia. The Home Rule Act also gives Congress the authority to block any laws passed by the D.C. Council, which has been done several times. This is why they can't get statehood. They don't qualify under the Constitution, period. Sartor claims that African Americans continue to be systematically prevented from controlling the institutions in our communities. This is why this initiative is being proposed. Now, they can't open up businesses, as he's saying, systematically, basically racism, but they can find the resources and the manpower to open up a business in the autonomous zone, but they can't anywhere else? Do you think a commercial building owner would give a rat's ass what color the person is, especially in Washington, D.C., of all places? As long as the guy's got a decent credit history and the business he's putting in is legitimate and reasonable. D.C. currently has a black female mayor, Muriel Bowser. Yeah, she's a real piece of work. The majority of the city's mayors since the Home Rule Act was enacted in 1970 has been people of color, beginning with their very first, Walter E. Washington. According to his bio in the Wider Circle staff page, Sartor was born and raised in D.C. and graduated from the Landing School in 2012. He is currently a sophomore at Montgomery College, majoring in business in the hopes of transferring to the University of Maryland in College Park. He started working for a Wider Circle in April 2013. Now, this is what's coming. This is what's coming. You say, well, John, that's ridiculous. Look at the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of separate college graduations. Hundreds and hundreds of separate black-only high school graduations. Demanding on college campuses that dormitories be people of color only. And on and on and on. This is what Dr. King wanted. And here's the weird part. People this age, at his age and younger, basically threw Martin Luther King under the bus. They want segregation. This is the Democrat Party of old, but just a new twist. A new modern twist in order to survive, because they knew their racist views on Jim Crow and all the other racist things they believed in for years wouldn't fly in modern society, especially after the Civil Rights Act was passed, which they don't want either. In fact, in California, the progressives, I believe it was Proposition 16, wanted to repeal all the California state statutes, basically the Civil Rights Act for the United States, but the California level. So they can pick and choose people of color over other races and vice versa. So you can say, I'm hiring you because you're black, and the state of California law would allow it. It failed. I believe it was 57-43%, Tim Pool said in a show last night. But the point is, the vast majority of the numbers came from San Francisco and Los Angeles. This is what's coming. This is Jim Crow. We're going to say, well, it's reverse racism. I hate that expression. It's racism, period. You want to segregate yourself? I guess you can. You can't stop. If I wanted to open up a business in this autonomous zone, they can't stop me by law. It's crazy. But this is what they want. And you know what? The way things are going, they're going to eventually get it. So welcome to the new Jim Crow. The new Jim Crow 2.0. It's not voter registration laws. It's progressive Democrats just using what they always do, race segregation, prejudice, but just a new modern twist. So thanks, Biden voters. Thanks for all your help. Really appreciate it. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.